Hi, I'm Jill Rieger, Director of Marketing. Our memory care program focuses on an individual's strengths for personalized care. Click on our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
SIU Family Medicine wants the best health for you and your family. Be a champion. Protect your loved ones. The SIU Center for Family Medicine of Lincoln is accepting new patients. Click their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com to schedule your appointment.
News time is 8 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Here's what we have coming up for you in news on this Friday. The DeWitt County Board's Public Safety Committee is set to make a recommendation to the DeWitt County Board to replace DeWitt County Animal Control Administrator Tony Harris. DeLand-Weldon schools continue to develop their ag program, and it will be a big part of the strategic planning process underway in the DeWitt County District. And despite it being slow to develop, a La Nina weather pattern is set to form here any day. Those stories coming up in news on this Friday. But first, we stream to Facebook and YouTube. It is brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. In October, DeWitt County Animal Control Administrator Tony Harris announced he will be stepping down from his position, and Thursday night, the DeWitt County Public Safety Committee took a step forward in naming his replacement. At Thursday night's Public Safety Committee meeting, the committee interviewed Harris's top pick to take over the position, Grace Moore.
I would like to talk to you about my first choice, and I think Megan agrees. We talked about it in detail, and that's Grace Moore from Saybrook. I attached her resume there. She's got kennel experience, she's got dog trainer experience, and quite a bit of management experience, which is what I feel like we really need, is someone with management experience. And she was also an animal control warden in McLean County.
In the interview, Moore highlighted her experience in management as well as her willingness to make the tough decisions that come with the position.
Currently, I only have about 5 people that I manage, but my previous kennel position, we did have 15 to 17 people that I would have to schedule for every week, so I'm used to that. Yeah. While I wasn't the person performing euthanasias, I have helped with that process when I worked for McLean County, so it didn't happen often, but it happened enough where I was part of that process.
Yeah,
so
it's not a pleasant thing.
No. So when I worked for McLean County, I would have to assist or do it myself, vaccinations, dewormings, stuff like that. The only thing I was not qualified to do is rabies, because I'm not a licensed vet, but I was able to do everything else, microchips, stuff like that.
Committee members Buck Carter, John Wirtz, and Tom Ferris all felt the interview went well and that Moore would be a good fit. The committee decided to officially recommend her to the DeWitt County Board for the Animal Control Administrator position.
She's got a good resume. Looks like she's got the experience and the background that we were looking for. I think as far as being the what we call the administrative position, that's just one that's going to come with time. When you get thrown into that position, all of a sudden you're the boss. You have to make decisions.
I think she's pretty responsive. Yeah, it sounded good.
Yeah.
Confident.
All right, then we've got the motion and the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll hope for the best. I mean, we've made huge strides in the animal control group, and so we'll just continue to move forward.
The meeting also included Sheriff Mike Walker detailing an engine failure in one of the department's trucks, which ultimately will be replaced to keep them from having to purchase an entire new vehicle. Getting students interested in agriculture at a young age is the best way to ensure the industry's future. On the WHOW Morning Show Thursday, Dr. Michael Tresnick, superintendent of DeLand-Weldon Schools, told Regional Radio with the return of the ag program this year in his district, they are renovating the high school's ag space as a part of other building improvements.
We did agree to a contract with Architectural Expressions down in Forsyth. We will be doing a summer project where we're going to renovate the elementary, put in new ceilings, similar to what we did at the high school. Mm-hmm. We're also going to renovate our agriculture area, update the electrical. It's got 1960s electrical in it, so it's not quite what we need. Yes, we have it going. So our next step in that program is we want to renovate that space. We're going to, like I said, upgrade electrical, probably put a wall in to kind of create a classroom space in there. We're also going to put in spacing for 4 welding booths. It's something we really wanted to do. We think that that's an area that will help our kids. They can get some basic training in welding. If they really are excited about it, then they could go on to Heartland Academy to take further studies. A lot of things moving forward. So we're excited that we're able to do these things this coming summer because it's going to help our kids. It's going to give them opportunities. We're a small high school, but we're doing everything we can to give the maximum number of opportunities to our kids.
The ag program at DeLand-Weldon is still in its early stages, and Dr. Tresnick has goals like installing a greenhouse to expand the learning opportunities for students in ag, but also beyond.
But we're still looking at what we want to do. I have personal goals in there. If I could find someone to donate a greenhouse, we would love to have put a greenhouse in right next to that ag shop area. We recently, using some grant money, purchased brooders and incubators, and we're going to start looking at showing kids how to raise chickens. We might even look at putting in a chicken coops there, because we're out there in the middle of the country, and with the idea of how can you do some of your own sustainable farming. And along with that it'd be nice to get a greenhouse where we could show kids how to grow, be it herbs or whatever, or even the flowers or whatever, but show kids those proper techniques. So we got a lot of long-term things we want to do, but we're going to try to take it one step at a time. But like I said, if there's someone out there that wants to donate a greenhouse, we'll put a big sign on there saying donated by. Yeah, sure. That's something that in the future we really want to try to do. We think that would actually have a K-12 effect. We could have our elementary kids see that, and I think it would be a lot of fun for them.
Dr. Tresnick notes high school is no longer just about preparing kids for college because many students elect to take non-traditional routes after graduation.
We look at the ag program as a great means to provide multiple opportunities to kids. And I think that's what we have to be about. It's what high schools have to be about nowadays. It's not about preparing a kid just to go to college. It's about preparing kids to become successful parts of society. And that could be going into apprenticeship programs. That can be going in the military. It can be going and becoming a welder, making a good living and all that. And what we want to try to do is give kids a taste of that. These are the opportunities out there. We're not going to make a professional welder. We don't have that capability, but maybe a kid wants just to try it out and say, hey, let me see what I think of this, and they like it. Nothing out of their pocket at that point. Then they can go on and then follow that path.
DeLand-Weldon schools are in the middle of strategic planning, which in part will include the future of the ag program. You can follow along with all things DeLand-Weldon schools at dwschools.org and follow them on Facebook. Springfield Clinic has announced CEO Ray Williams will retire December 31st after 8 years at the helm of the organization. Under Williams' leadership, the organization achieved significant growth, navigated major challenges, and maintained its focus on delivering high-quality care to the community. Williams explained his decision to step down was driven by a desire to prioritize his family at this stage in life. Reflecting on his time as CEO, he noted it had been a privilege to lead Springfield Clinic alongside a team of dedicated professionals. He expressed confidence in the clinic's strong foundation and its readiness to thrive in the future. During his tenure, Williams guided the organization through several pivotal moments, including its response to the COVID pandemic, resolving a major insurance dispute with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, and implementing a new electronic health record system. As a part of the transition, the clinic has named Jen Boyer as acting CEO effective January January 1, 2025. Boyer, who was recently promoted to Chief Operating Officer, has over 27 years of healthcare experience, including 12 years with Springfield Clinic. She emphasized her commitment to building on the progress made under Williams' leadership while ensuring patients continue to receive excellent care. Boyer began her healthcare career as a hospital volunteer and has since worked in public health and emergency room leadership. She joined Springfield Clinic in 2012 as a nurse navigator and advanced through roles in operations, ultimately becoming Senior Vice President of Operations. Known for her collaborative and patient-focused leadership style, she aligns closely with the clinic's mission and values. The Springfield Clinic Board of Directors will soon launch a national search for a permanent CEO. In the meantime, Boyer will collaborate with the leadership team to ensure a smooth transition and sustain the organization's momentum. The clinic's leadership praised Williams for his vision and transformative impact on the organization, expressing gratitude for his years of service and dedication. Despite being slow to develop, a La Niña winter is still expected. The National Weather Service's Climate Prediction Center gives it a nearly 60% chance of being a La Niña winter. Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln indicates they watch the equatorial Pacific temperatures when tracking a La Niña weather pattern.
Right, yeah. La Niña is defined by looking at the equatorial Pacific just west of South America, seeing what the temperatures are doing there in the oceanic surface waters. And if they're colder than normal, we call that a La Niña. If they're colder than normal by 0.5 degree Celsius, that starts La Niña. If they're warmer than 0.5 degree Celsius above normal, then that's El Nino. But we're basically forecast to have a La Niña set up. We're just shy of that right now, but we're trending colder. So La Niña, basically, when it's occurring, affects the jet stream as it enters the west coast of the United States. So that's why we're concerned about that. The ocean holds a tremendous amount of energy. So when it's colder than normal, that energy also translates into how the jet stream is going to respond. That enters the west side of the United States and in fact controls the storm tracks that we see throughout the winter if it's cold enough in that equatorial Pacific region there.
Shimon anticipates the changeover to La Niña happening very soon. He predicts some periods of frigid air coming to central Illinois and a strong winter storm or two.
There's a lot of cold water just below the surface at this point, and it's supposed to, what we call upwell, and it's going to reach the surface shortly here. It's supposed to happen within the next week or two, where we actually see the below normal temperatures become more prominent and start to affect the jet stream a little bit more here. So by the end of December, we'll be established into a La Niña, and the rest of the winter season we'll see that response triggering some potential influence on our jet stream pattern across the United States. What occurs usually is that the jet stream tends to come from the northwest to southeast, from Canada towards the central Illinois, the mid-Mississippi Valley, so to speak. So we're going to be on an active pattern. What that means is you're going to have bouts of warm, but also very, very cold air can come with some of those. And so we're expecting, based on some research out of the U of I for La Niña winters, some impactful cold snaps as well as strong winter storms. We average 6-inch snowfalls just less than once every other year. So about every other year we'll see a 6-inch snowfall, but we might see a more impactful winter storm along with some, cold outbreaks this winter, because La Niña winters just tend to have a roller coaster kind of winter because you're in the storm track more frequently here. So that's what we're looking at if those La Niña establishes. So January, February could be pretty active in terms of getting an impactful snow and then maybe warm up. So, you want to be ready, for that wintry driving conditions, because some of these storms could be kind of strong this year.
With another La Niña winter here, this will mark the fourth time in the last 5 winters we've had a La Niña winter in Illinois. The La Niña winter weather pattern gives us an above-normal precipitation weather outlook for the traditional winter months. We'll have more on that next week on Regional Radio. 21 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Friday. More to come on the morning show.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
News time is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Friday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. As the IHSA continues to evaluate the public-private issue for high school football, what about the 1 through 32 seeding for the 1A through 6A playoffs, or even a different seeding process? IHSA Executive Director Craig Anderson recently weighed in.
From my perspective, the travel that's created in the 6 classes of which we break the state in half would be exacerbated if we try to go 1 through 32. And I don't think that's in the best interest of our schools to have to travel. And I get it, even when we do 2 halves of 116, some of the travel is significant. But I think it even gets worse if we try to go 1 through 32. So that may be brought up by the Football Advisory Committee again. I don't think it's in the best interest of our schools and the association to get that expanded geography. When it comes to the seating, you bring up a good point there, and I've had it mentioned from a couple different people now, mainly school administrators, that our process, especially when there's competition in the regular season where schools are maybe losing to a team that's 2 classes above them, while it counts as a loss, it's really different when they get put in a particular classification. So I think there may be a way, and we've had internally this conversation about using a strength of schedule and some factors. Max Preps has a way of which they can kind of rank schools, and if our membership would agree to it, once we know the qualifiers, we could look at a ranking system as opposed to the current number of wins, your opponent's wins and losses that we currently create the breakout. So I do think that conversation could happen, which would allow maybe a more accurate kind of 1 through 16 or 1 through 32, depending upon the classifications and the makeup. But that would be something that would probably come through our different advisory committees and their agreement that the timing is such that we kind of move in that direction, as opposed to in our other class sports, we use a coach's vote, as you guys all know. But maybe, the coach's vote isn't the right way to do it, and we should just go to some kind of system that ranks because of strength of schedule and the wins and losses of teams for football and for our other sports. I think if we go to it, we're probably going to go all in with all of our sports. So we'll see what happens and kind of what the thought of our advisory committees are about that.
7A and 8A are currently seeded 1 through 32 for the high school football playoffs. The state FFA officer team is nearing the midway point of their term. Sydney Steers serves as the state FFA reporter.
Yeah, it's still crazy. We are T-minus, I think, 6 days away from the halfway point. So that's actually insane to think about. It's all flown by. I've done so much traveling, whether that's in Illinois all around or to Washington, D.C., to Indianapolis for National Convention. But one of the highlights has been chapter visits. So I traveled for 6 weeks to all different chapters throughout Illinois and gave a workshop there to teach students about FFA and hopefully get them involved and interested in opportunities that we can provide. So all of those different experiences are big highlight points. But it has been kind of crazy to take a step back and think, I am a state officer, and that was something I've never thought that I'd be able to do. So it's really fulfilling and also very busy and exciting.
Steers is from the Williamsfield FFA chapter. The 2025 Illinois FFA Convention is in June in Springfield. The St. Louis District Dairy Council is focusing in on ricotta cheese in December because of its versatility and nutritional benefits. Most know ricotta from dishes like lasagna, but the sweet and light flavors make the cheese suitable for savory and sweet holiday recipes. Kelsey Bentledge, nutrition educator with the St. Louis District Dairy Council, explains ricotta is actually a byproduct of cheddar cheese, another way dairy
cheese makers, they make a variety of cheeses. So like, for example, if they are to make a cheddar cheese, the byproduct of cheddar cheese is whey. So that whey is then used in the process of making ricotta. So that casein separates, the casein becomes the cheese, the remaining protein is the whey protein, and that's what's used along with milk and vinegar, and then that mixture is heated up, and that's kind of the base and how they make ricotta cheese. Ricotta, it's light, it's slightly sweet, and that's because of that whey that's in it. The flavor kind of lends itself to both sweet or savory dishes, making it a perfect addition for holiday recipes. So it can be an easy appetizer. You could whip up that ricotta cheese in a food processor, and then it will be nice and creamy.
Bentledge dives into the nutritional side of ricotta cheese and notes the richness in calcium, protein, and B12.
Ricotta is really a great source of calcium and vitamin B12. B12 is huge this time of year for immune health. And then calcium, it's also one of the 4 nutrients of concern in the American diet. So that means that we're kind of falling short on consuming enough calcium from day to day. So it gets you almost a third of your daily needs of calcium with every serving that you have of ricotta cheese. A serving being with ricotta, since it's a fresh cheese, it's actually like 3/4 of a cup, where it's a little bit unique from the other servings of dairy, which is 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of yogurt, or 1.5 ounces of cheese. So just getting in those 3 servings a day kind of gets you closer to your calcium needs requirements for the day. And then ricotta is also a really good source of protein. It has 10 grams of protein. And when I say it's a good source, it's a complete protein, which is you can't get from plant sources. So that's another great little facet that ricotta has as well.
The St. Louis District Dairy Council recipe for the month is a no-boil baked penny pasta. It can turn into a weekly menu item for families, says Bentledge.
No boil before you bake penne pasta recipe. So this is a time-saving recipe. I know this time of year, especially this year, we were talking about how close Thanksgiving and Christmas are this year. These weeks just feel kind of jam-packed and a little bit chaotic. So anything that's going to make it a little bit easier this time of year is welcome. So this dish is super easy. You don't have to boil the pasta before you bake it. You just mix all of the ingredients together. Includes marinara sauce, penne pasta, baby spinach, so get a vegetable in there.
Get more recipes at stldairycouncil.org. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news comes your way next on the morning show, followed by a look at local sports.
With SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. There are media reports that prosecutors are presenting evidence to a New York grand jury in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO. Shooting suspect Luigi Mangione is jailed in Pennsylvania, where he was arrested. The White House is pointing to hopeful signs in efforts to reach a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says Israel's recent ceasefire deal with Hezbollah in Lebanon has eased the path toward a possible deal in the Israel-Hamas war. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Blinken held more talks in the Mideast today about supporting a peaceful political transition in Syria after the fall of the Assad regime last weekend. Under new rules adopted by the British Lawn Tennis Association, men will be barred from competing in the women's category of most domestic tournaments beginning next month. This is SRN News.
Share 55.
With SRN Sports, I'm Jeremy House. In the NFL, the LA Rams used 4 field goals to beat the San Francisco 49ers 12-6.
The win helps Los Angeles move a half game behind division-leading Seattle. Matthew Stafford was 16 of 27 for 160 yards. Meanwhile, the 49ers loss dropped them to 6-8. While mathematically still alive, they are likely not going to the playoffs. In the loss, Brock Purdy was 14 of 31 for 142 yards.
That's correspondent Ryan Leong reporting. In the NBA, winners included Boston, Miami, and Sacramento. One men's top 25 college basketball game last night saw number 3 Iowa win bragging rights to the Hawkeye State with an 89-80 win over Iowa. In Colorado, two-way standout Travis Hunter is the AP College Football Player of the Year. Hunter received 26 of the 43 votes from a panel of AP top 25 voters. This is SRN Sports. In the NHL, the Vegas Golden Knights pull out a 3-2 win over the Winnipeg Jets on a goal by Ivan Barbashev at 3:47 of overtime.
A turnover led to Barbashev's 14th goal of the season and sent Vegas to its 4th straight win. Keegan Kolesar and Victor Olofsson also scored for the Knights. with Olofsson tying the game on a power play goal with 1:49 left in regulation. Shea Theodore had 2 assists while Vegas outshot Winnipeg 36-20. Aiden Hill made 18 saves for the Knights. I'm Dave Ferry.
Other winners were Philadelphia, New Jersey, Toronto, Pittsburgh, Washington, the New York Islanders, San Jose, Edmonton, Nashville, Utah, Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Vancouver. Bill Belichick is already the most decorated coach in NFL history. His next challenge is college football after he agreed to a 5-year deal to coach at North Carolina. This is SRN.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. 4 players scored in double figures, and Clinton rolled Shelbyville 74-40 in Central Illinois Conference opening high school girls basketball action in Shelbyville Thursday night. Lila Kluver paced the Lady Maroons with 18 points. Clara Dempsey and Reagan Filkin added 16 points apiece. Carly Anderson scored 10 for the Lady Maroons, who led 31-22 at the intermission and used a 20-5 third quarter advantage to break the game open and led 51-27 going to the fourth. The Lady Rams dropped to 2-8 overall and start 0-2 in the Central Illinois Conference. Clinton goes to 7-3 overall and 1-0 in the CIC. The Lady Maroons continue CIC play Monday when they host Meridian at Clinton High School. Hear Monday's action on WHOW and all its digital platforms. Tip time is 7:15. Central A&M took down Maroa-Forsyth 54-48 from the Macon County Tournament Thursday at Central A&M High School. The Trojans and Raiders played a tight contest throughout the night. Kobe Lane led Maroa-Forsyth with 17 points. Cabron Lee had 12, while Kenny Morris chipped in with 10. Rhett Steiner led Central A&M with 17 points, and Victor Ravello scored 13. The Trojans fall to 2-1 overall. They will play for third place at the Macon County Tournament. Running the football has the 8-5 Seattle Seahawks sitting atop the NFC West heading into a Sunday night showdown with the visiting 9-4 Green Bay Packers. Geno Smith's new top target is second-year receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba, who needs 89 yards receiving for his first 1,000-yard season. Smith-Njigba has 75 catches for 911 yards and 5 touchdowns, while DK Metcalf, often dealing with double coverage, has 54 catches for 812 yards but just 2 touchdowns. The Seahawks will face another hot team in the Packers, who have won 7 of 9. Green Bay's 2 losses in that stretch have come against the NFC best Detroit Lions, who are 12-1, including a 34-31 victory by the Lions on December 5th, which means the NFC North title is likely out of reach for the Packers, but they're well positioned for a playoff berth, and that most certainly won't come this weekend. The Packers would need a win, a loss, or a tie by the Falcons, and a tie between the Rams and the Niners, although it was the Rams with the win on Thursday Night Football. When the Packers surged their way into the playoffs last season, quarterback Jordan Love was a major reason why he had 18 touchdown passes and 1 interception in Green Bay's final 8 games. During the last 4 games of this season, Love ranks 3rd in the NFL with a 118.9 passer rating with 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a league best 10.3 yards per attempt. Game time is 7:20 on Sunday. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Cloudy skies expected today with daytime highs approaching 30. Winds out of the east 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tonight. Lows dip down to about 24. Overcast skies tomorrow. Isolated rain showers likely. Daytime highs approaching 45. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Right now, 11.
From the Country Financial Studio, I'm Rita Frazier. This is the RFD Livestock Report. Every year since 2008, Congress proclaimed a Saturday in December as National Wreaths Across America Day. On that day, more than 2 million veterans